Congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
No. The rest of them didn't come up here, but they're coming. You know, I'm not sure why we got this award, because William said it was going to be short, but we can sit here and talk for hours about our company. We're all pretty proud of. And we did win the #1 award again for 2015, so we're again the most admired company in our division. But you know, I'm going to make it short. We do appreciate the award and the help that the board's given us. EDC's been great to work with. The county commissioners are great. But Bobby and Deborah and William have really helped us and make it easy to do business in Caldwell County. And I got to say that in this room, we got a lot of business associates. We got the greatest workforce in Caldwell County working for us. We got the suppliers, Randy, and Duke Power, everybody, but we also got vendors, distributors, and meat packing companies that use our products. So we're very fortunate, and we touch every one of your lives every day, and we appreciate it.
And finally, certainly last and not least, we're giving a new award this year. It is the Caldwell County Legacy Award. And earlier I spoke of the requirements to running this marathon: fitness, leadership, pace, resources, talent, determination, endurance, persistence, and so many other things. And all of those describe what it takes to be a legacy industry. And we're very pleased to today make this award presentation to one particular company. There is no more appropriate recipient for this very first one than the one we will give today. Entrepreneurship is not unique to this century or even the last century. In fact, today's Legacy Award recipients' beginnings date back to March 28th, 1889, when John Matthias Bernhardt made his own company announcement and established Bernhardt Furniture. This commitment 126 years ago changed the face and the fabric of Caldwell County. Outlasting booms and busts, global conflicts, 22 presidential administrations, a devastating plant fire in 1926, not to mention the past decade of challenges and the Great Recession. The company today, with a presence in more than 50 countries worldwide, is still anchored in Lenoir, Caldwell County, North Carolina, USA. You will be handed a program when you leave that has all of the information about these award recipients today. But in it, you will read this: from J.M. Bernhardt's sons, George and John Christian, to the present-day leadership team of Alex Bernhardt Sr., Alex Bernhardt Jr., Ann Bernhardt, William Collett, and Roundtree Collett. A tradition of manufacturing excellence has been tied to a keen sense of social responsibility and environmental consciousness. Bernhardt has been lauded within the industry for its sustainability efforts and for its work with environmental organizations. Bernhardt's maintained a culture of civic leadership. They've set the bar in many regards for partnership and generosity. The company and its employees are committed to charitable and community involvement. In its fourth generation of family management, Bernhardt remains the largest family-owned furniture company in North Carolina and one of the largest in the country. With more than 1,200 employees, the company continues to grow and expand, just last year reopening 2 of its formerly shuttered plants, one in Cages Mountain in Caldwell County and the other in Shelby. Bernhardt is known and respected in its industry for award-winning designs that honor both the past and the future. More than 126 years later, J.M. Bernhardt's legacy and vision live on. Now, Dr. Pat Mitchell, the Assistant or Associate Secretary for the North Carolina Department of Commerce, was to have been here to present this before it snowed. And she was excited, and she sent these comments and her best wishes to Bernhardt Furniture today. She said, "It is significant when a member of a community makes repeated investments. Investments in people, investments to enhance the economy, and particularly investments in quiet leadership. That significance should be recognized. My sincere congratulations to Bernhardt Furniture in receiving this legacy award, and my sincere appreciation for what you do for the state of North Carolina." It is our pleasure to present the very first legacy award to Bernhardt Furniture, and accepting it is Roundtree. I would give this to you, but it's very heavy and it will fall off of the podium.
No problem. No problem. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah, for that, those great remarks. If I had any sense at this point, I would sit down and shut up. But I'm not known for that, so I'm going to forge ahead anyway. As Deborah said, I'm a member of the Bernhardt family. I'm probably not the first choice for this. We're a family of great public speakers, but I'm not one of those. I'm going to try to make up for that with brevity if I can, and keep the remarks pretty short. But this is a great honor from a group of people in this room that we care deeply about. And whatever else you say about us, we're firmly grounded in this community, and we draw our strength from that. We've evolved over the years into a much more global company than we ever were, but we remain part of this company and of this community, and share a vital interest in its future prosperity. So one of the things that I get asked a lot is, how do you get to be a 125-year-old company? And I'm not quite sure why anybody would want to know that, but there's a couple of different answers to that. I'm going to try to share briefly some of the thoughts on that in case you are interested. The first thing is just start out as a 124-year-old company and then hang on. And that's really the philosophy that my generation has brought to the table in part. As a 125-year-old company, you do naturally get thought of when people think about legacy. But for me, it's a little bit like when I first got that letter. And I think you guys, I see some gray hair around the room. So remember when AARP first found you? I mean, it's not necessarily a good feeling. You get that and say, really? Me already? I'm not that old. I'm not that person they think I am. But then you go on to think, well, you know, I got some accomplishments that I can take pride in that younger people don't understand, no matter how smart they are. You know, that I've lived a pretty good life. I'm not done yet, but already I've got some things I'm proud of. And being a 125-year-old company is a little bit like that. So the more serious answer, I guess, there are a few things that have sort of risen to the top over 125 years. Some I've seen firsthand, and others I've heard about from those that preceded me. The first thing is be distinctive. We're in I don't know how many people here are in the furniture industry and can corroborate this, but we're in a very, very fragmented industry. It's like a knife fight, and you don't know who's coming after you next. And it's easy to get lost in the fray. You have to stand out from a crowd. And so always be distinctive. Second, you got to stand for something. You got to give people a reason to find you and care about what you do. I see Carmela over there. She's one that helps us navigate that. But we do that on a lot of fronts, not just with customers, but also employees and others. So second rule would say be distinctive. Third, you should be a family business. I was lucky that way. We didn't have to try hard, but even a publicly traded company like Sealed Air, you can be a family business. Because in the end, we're a family of families, not a family. And we've got a wonderful group of people working for us, many of whom are part of families that have been working for us for years. So I'm going to segue to a little bit of a roast for William. This is actually the time of year when we do our service awards at Bernhardt. And William has become the MC of that and does a great job. And there's a few little recurring features to that, one of which we need to give a good name to this, but William will stand up and give us some pop quiz about things that, how things were 10 or 20 or 40 years ago when somebody first came to work. And so it usually goes like, well, what was the top movie at the box office in 1970, whatever, or the top song on the radio? And then a favorite is, how much was a gallon of gas? Anybody know, 30 years ago? I mean, I could never do it. But one of my favorite ones was, how much was a dozen eggs? And the answer to that's 12, by the way, just so you... we got him on that one. But what I love about the event is it sums up a lot about what I love about our company. We have got that great group of talented, long-tenured employees who've really, in many cases, over multiple generations, come together as a group to accomplish all that we've done. And then you also think about the people who set the table for you, not the meal today, but figuratively speaking, all that we've enjoyed. And you start to think about what you're going to do for the people that follow after you. And that's a rewarding thing. And that helps you have a little more meaning in your daily routine. And the same thing's true for all of our employees, I think. So that'd be third. Fourth, be smart enough or lucky enough to plant your tree in fertile soil. And I'm using a furniture metaphor, I guess, with that, but that's a good way to think about it, is organically. And I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but Caldwell County is just that kind of a place for a variety of reasons. I think history was mentioned here earlier today, and folks in this area have got a self-reliance that goes way back, I think, to where our roots are. And we watch out for ourselves and for each other in a way that I think is grounded in that history. I think we ultimately know, sometimes from hard-learned efforts, that if we can't count on ourselves and each other, nobody else is going to be there to bail us out, whether that's Raleigh or Washington or any other place. And so that's been important, and as a result, we've got people here who have a can-do attitude because they have no choice, and they've learned to do it themselves. And I think that's a common feature in our businesses, our government, our schools and churches and other institutions that stand us in good stead. So finally, probably the most important thing of all is simply to embrace change. And if that's anything else we've learned over 125 years, it's that. Change is everywhere, it's constant, and in the end, it's merciless. You have no choice but to embrace it. The past couple of decades in our industry, we've seen really gut-wrenching change. Started with globalization, then went to the Great Recession. But we've seen a Great Depression before this, 2 world wars, and I think one thing we learned is that you can not only survive, but actually prosper if you embrace the change and as completely and as quickly as possible. And so, again, that would be probably the most important. In closing, I'll just put in a little plug for the EDC, because it's one of my favorite institutions, because it does those last couple of things so well. It's 100% forward-looking by definition. Every day you're thinking about what's next. And when it's done well, it embraces change without fail. You can't just look at what we are today, you've got to look at what we're going to become. And our history in Caldwell County, I think, exemplifies this. You can look at the recruitment of Google years ago. You can look at this group of companies recognized here today. The footprint is changing constantly and correctly, as it should. And all we really need to do as a group is to be supportive of that. As a legacy industry, there's a lot that goes on here that doesn't directly benefit furniture, but we applaud it and support it because we know in the end it makes the whole environment more productive, it enriches that soil, and we'll grow as a result. So that's it, I guess, except thank you so much, and we couldn't be happier to be recognized in this fashion. Thank you.
The award that you see here to my right is rather heavy and is not attached to the pedestal. We did not want to run the risk that it would fall and break before it got home to its new owners. Thank you very much for being with us today. We appreciate, again, industry and all of those who come gather around it to support it. We appreciate so much your being here today, and we look forward to doing this again next year when we celebrate the next ones. Thank you very much, and congratulations to our award winners.